How did one loud joke about a diamond turn into me getting served papers in a public lobby? Why did my husband stay calm, collect proof, and then end everything in one lawful move that started the same day? My name is Araminta Vale. Most people called me Mint because it sounded sweet. I liked that. It made me seem easy even when I was not. I was 33, and I worked as a coordinator at a dental office. My job was to keep the schedule clean and the patients calm. I told myself I was good at fixing problems. I also told myself I deserved nice things because I carried everyone. Ethan was my husband. He was 35, he worked in IT, and he liked quiet plans and tidy numbers. He said he loved me. He also acted like love was a checklist. I always felt like I had to shake him to get a real reaction. I hated that feeling. I said I needed romance, and he gave me reminders. Our anniversary was supposed to be simple. We had been married for 9 years. We had 2 kids. We had routines, school lunches, laundry piles, and tired eyes in the mirror. I wanted one night where the world looked at me and saw a woman who was chosen. I wanted a diamond. I wanted it because it was clear, it was loud, it was proof. I told Ethan what I wanted in small ways for weeks. I showed him photos online. I stopped at jewelry counters when we ran errands. I let my hand rest on my ring finger like it was empty. He noticed, but he always reacted late. He asked what style I liked. I said I wanted something classic. He asked what budget felt safe. I said an anniversary was not the time for safety. On the night of dinner, I dressed like I was going to be seen. I wore a black dress and heels that pinched. I did my hair longer than usual. I checked my face 3 times before we left. Ethan looked at me and smiled in his quiet way. He asked if I felt okay. I said I felt excited. I also felt angry already, like I was waiting for disappointment. The restaurant was an upscale steakhouse downtown. It had warm lights and soft music. People around us wore suits and shiny watches. That kind of place always made me feel like I had to win. Ethan held the door and walked behind me. I took that as him being careful, not proud. I told myself he was already acting like I was a problem to manage. We sat in a booth. The waiter brought water and bread. Ethan ordered wine. I watched his hands the whole time. I kept thinking about a small box in his pocket. My stomach felt tight. My sister Kelsey came too. She said it was a fun surprise because it was our anniversary week. My friend Brielle came with her. I did not invite them at first, but when they asked, I said yes. I told myself it would be fine. I also knew it would add pressure. I liked pressure when it was on Ethan and not on me. Kelsey took photos right away. She said the lighting was perfect. Brielle said I looked expensive. That word made my chest lift. Ethan asked if we could have some private time. I said it was not a big deal because family mattered. Dinner started polite. Ethan asked about work. I said the office was busy and people depended on me. Brielle asked if Ethan had planned anything special. He said he had. His voice stayed calm. I did not like calm. Calm felt like a trick. When the plates came, Ethan waited until the waiter stepped away. He reached into his jacket pocket. My heart jumped. He took out a small box and placed it on the table. Kelsey leaned forward fast. Brielle lifted her phone. I did not stop them. I wanted witnesses. Ethan asked me to open it. I opened it slowly, like it was a scene. Inside was not a diamond. It was something else. It was thoughtful in his way. It was a plan for a weekend trip and a folded note with his neat writing. It was sweet. It was also not what I wanted. My face went hot. I felt trapped, like if I smiled, I would lose. I looked up and saw Brielle's phone still aimed at me. I saw Kelsey's eyes shining with expectation. I could not accept a non-diamond in front of them. I told myself I was not shallow. I told myself I was standing up for respect. Ethan asked what I thought. I said it was cute, but not enough. He blinked, like he did not understand. He asked if I was serious. I said of course I was serious. I said a trip was something we could have done any time. I said a diamond was once, and he missed it. He asked me to lower my voice. I said he was trying to control me. He said people were looking. I said people should look because this was my life. Brielle made a small sound like a laugh, and that fed me. Kelsey whispered that Ethan messed up. That gave me permission. Ethan said he worked hard and thought the trip would make me happy. I said he always thought wrong. I said he made me feel like a roommate. I said a diamond was the least he could do after years of forgetting. I watched his mouth tighten. That looked like guilt to me, even if it was only pain. The waiter came back, and Ethan asked for the check early. I did not want the check. I wanted a fight. I wanted him to beg. I wanted him to say I mattered. He stayed calm. That made me louder. Kelsey asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, and just tired of being disappointed. Brielle asked Ethan why he did not listen. He said he did listen. I said he listened like a machine. I said he did not know how to be a man. I hated myself for that line, and loved it at the same time because it landed. Ethan stood up. He did not slam anything. He did not swear. He told me, in that steady way, that he would not argue in public. I said he was making a scene by leaving. He said he was trying to stop a scene. I said he was abandoning me. He looked at our table, then at my face, like he was seeing someone else. He paid. He nodded at the waiter. He told Kelsey and Brielle to take care. He did not look at me again. He walked out. I followed him outside, still in heels that hurt. I asked how he could leave me there. He asked me to take a breath. I said he was acting like my father. He said he would talk when we were home. I said home was where he hid. He kept walking. Then he got into the car alone and drove away. I stood on the sidewalk with my clutch bag and my anger. Cars passed. People stepped around me. My phone buzzed with a message from Brielle saying he was trash. Kelsey said she could post the clip. I stared at the screen, and I told myself Ethan did this to me. When I finally got home in a rideshare, the house was dark. I walked into the kitchen and saw the fridge calendar. A new reminder was written in Ethan's neat handwriting, and it was timed down to the minute. I did not know what it meant, but I felt, for the first time that night, a small fear under my pride. The next morning, I woke up with my throat tight and my eyes dry. Ethan was not in our bed. I heard the shower in the guest bathroom. I told myself he did that to punish me. I told myself he wanted me to feel small. I did not say out loud that I had started it. At breakfast, the kids asked where Dad was. I said he had work stuff and needed quiet. Milo looked at me like he did not believe me. Nora asked for cereal again and again, like she could not settle. Ethan came into the kitchen with his own mug. It was a different mug than mine. He put it on the far side of the counter. He asked if I wanted to talk about last night. I said there was nothing to talk about because the message was clear. He said he never wanted to embarrass me. I said he embarrassed me by not listening. He asked why I needed an audience. I said I did not need one, but people saw the truth anyway. He looked tired. He said he would take Milo to school. I said fine, like I was doing him a favor. While he packed Milo's bag, I noticed a paper calendar on the fridge that we never used. We usually used our phones. On the calendar, there was a neat reminder, downtown 10:15 a.m. It was written like a meeting. It was not my handwriting. It was Ethan's. I asked what that was. He said it was personal. I asked if he was hiding money. He said no and told me to get ready for work. I said he was acting cold. He said he was trying to keep the morning calm. He did not raise his voice. I hated that because it made me look like the loud one. When the house cleared, my phone filled with messages. Brielle said I should not apologize. Kelsey said the clip was iconic. My mother sent a short text that said, "Men only learn when they feel shame." I read that and felt steady again. I told myself I was not mean. I was teaching. At work, I walked into the open plan office like a person who had survived something. I wanted sympathy. I wanted everyone to look at me and see a woman with standards, not a wife who had gone too far. Madison asked if I was okay. I said I was fine but tired of being disappointed. Brielle was already there because she worked in the same building. She asked what happened after Ethan left. I said he drove away and left me alone on the sidewalk. I did not mention how I pushed him. I did not mention how I wanted him to explode. In the break room, I showed them the dinner clip. I said Ethan hated spending money on me. I said he acted like love was a budget meeting. I said he forced me to beg for basic romance. I watched their faces as I spoke. I learned which parts made them frown and which parts made them nod. I adjusted my story to match. Madison said Ethan looked calm in the clip. I said calm was his weapon. I said he used silence to make me doubt myself. Brielle agreed and said men like that were dangerous in a quiet way. I liked that phrase. It made me feel like a victim with a mission. Around midday, Logan came by the office. He was a sales rep who dropped off supplies and smiled like he knew secrets. He always smelled like clean soap. He asked how I was doing. I said I had a rough anniversary. He asked if Ethan messed up. I said Ethan always messed up, just in different ways. Logan said I deserved someone who celebrated me. He said I looked like I carried too much. I said no one saw my effort. He said he saw it. That word landed in my chest like warmth. He asked if I wanted coffee after work. I said I could not because I had kids. He said even 10 minutes counted. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself I was allowed to talk to someone who actually listened. Later, I left the office with my hands full. Logan walked with me through the parking garage. The lights were bright and the air smelled like rubber. He asked why I stayed with a man who did not value me. I said leaving was complicated. He said complicated was often just fear. I laughed and said he talked like a movie. He asked if Ethan ever made me feel wanted. I said not the way I needed. He said I should not feel guilty for wanting more. I said guilt was a tool men used. He said I was not wrong. He touched my arm for a moment. I did not pull away. I told myself it was nothing. I also felt my face heat up. When I got home, Ethan was in the living room with the kids. The TV was on low. He was building a small block tower for Nora and listening to Milo talk about school. He looked normal, like a man with no drama. That made me angry because it made my story harder to sell. He asked how my day was. I said busy. He asked if I could help with dinner. I said I would after I changed. He said okay and did not push. In the bedroom, I checked my phone. Logan had texted that he liked seeing me smile. I stared at it too long. I typed a reply and deleted it, then typed again. I finally sent a short message that said it was nice to talk. My hand shook a little. I told myself it was just stress. When I came back to the kitchen, Ethan was at the counter. He had the laptop open. He had a spreadsheet on the screen, but I could not see the title. He clicked away quickly when he noticed me. The movement was fast and clean. It made me feel watched. I asked what he was doing. He said household stuff. I asked why he suddenly cared about household stuff. He said he always cared. I said he never cared about me. He said he did and asked me to keep my voice down because the kids could hear. As he spoke, I heard a soft beep from somewhere near his phone. It sounded like an app starting or stopping. I looked at his face. He did not react. I told myself I imagined it. I also felt my stomach drop like an elevator. After dinner, I told Kelsey what happened again, but I made it bigger. I said Ethan left me like I was nothing. I said he tried to make me look crazy. Kelsey asked if she could post the clip. I said yes, because the public needed to know. I told myself it was protection. I did not admit it was revenge. When the clip went up, it spread faster than I expected. People I barely knew commented. Some women said I was brave. Some men said I was cruel. I only read the praise. I only replied to the praise. I wanted my side to feel like the only side. That night, Ethan put the kids to bed without asking me for help. He moved through the house quietly. I walked past the hall closet and saw a labeled folder inside, half visible. It said bank. Under it, there was another folder that said utilities. He did not label things like that before. It looked like a different person lived here. I went into the living room and asked if he saw the video. He said yes. I asked what he thought. He said it was painful to watch. I said pain was what he caused me first. He asked if I meant that. I said I meant the truth. He looked at me for a long second and then asked if I was done for the night. I said I was not done until he understood. He said he understood that we needed to talk, but not like this. I said he always avoided real talk. He said he would not argue in front of the kids, and he went to the guest room. I stood alone in the living room, staring at the dark TV screen. I told myself I was still in control. Then I saw a new tagged photo appear on my phone from earlier at work. Logan's hand was close to my waist, and the angle made it look intimate even if it was not. At the same moment, I heard Ethan's phone vibrate in the other room. I woke up the next day and checked my phone before I checked on my kids. The clip had more views. That number felt like proof that I was right. I told myself it was not about attention. I said it was about respect. Still, my chest warmed when strangers praised me. Ethan moved through the house like he was a guest. He made breakfast for Milo and Nora. He did not ask me to sit with him. He did not ask me to explain. He only asked if I could pick up Nora from daycare later. I said yes, like I was doing my duty. He asked if we could talk after the kids slept. I said we already talked, and he just did not listen. He did not push. That was his new habit. I started to feel like I was talking to a wall. A wall cannot be blamed easily. A wall does not shout back. I wanted him to do something wrong so I could point at it. At work, Brielle walked in and held up her phone like a trophy. She said, "People loved the clip." She said I should do a follow-up post about standards. Madison looked unsure and asked if it was too much. I said it was never too much to demand what you deserved. I said Ethan tried to make me small for years. I said the dinner was only the last drop. The truth was that the dinner was the first big public moment. Before that, Ethan was not a villain in public. He was just quiet. Quiet men do not get punished unless you build a story around them. Around lunch, Logan texted me again. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, just tired. He said he would take me out to clear my head. I said I could not because I was married. He said marriage was supposed to feel safe, not lonely. I did not answer for a while. Then I sent a small emoji like it meant nothing. That afternoon, Brielle asked if I wanted to go out after work. She said a rooftop bar was having a live DJ and people would be there. She said I needed to feel desired again. I said I did not need male attention. Then I said yes anyway. I told myself it was harmless. I said it was just friends. I said Ethan had no right to be upset after leaving me at the restaurant. I repeated that line in my head like it was a fact. When I got home, Ethan was in the hallway helping Milo with his shoes. Milo asked where we were going tonight. I said I had plans with friends and Dad would stay with them. Milo asked if it was family plans. I said not tonight. Milo looked down and asked if I was mad at Dad. I said Dad was the one who was mad at me. I said Dad needed time to learn. Ethan heard that. He asked me not to put adult problems on Milo. I said Milo asked, and I would not lie. Ethan said I could answer without blaming. I said he was always policing my words. He said he was trying to protect the kids. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He did not argue longer than that. He only nodded once and took Milo to wash his hands. Nora reached for him, and he picked her up without looking at me. That small thing made me feel replaced, even though I was still there. Before I left, I stood in the kitchen and did my makeup again. I wanted to look like a woman who was winning. Ethan walked by with a laundry basket. He did not comment on my outfit. I wanted him to ask where I was going, so I could accuse him of control. He did not ask. That silence felt like a door closing. In the car, Brielle talked the whole ride. She said men only respect what they fear losing. She said I should teach Ethan. I agreed out loud. Inside, I felt a weird shaking, like my own body did not fully believe me. The rooftop bar was crowded. There were lights and loud music and people taking photos of drinks. The air smelled like perfume and heat. I liked it. It made me forget that my life at home was sliding. Brielle found a spot near the patio railing. Kelsey showed up too, because she always did when there was an audience. She asked if she could film a girls' night update. I said yes. I acted like it was a joke, but I also angled my face toward the camera. People came over and asked what happened with my anniversary. Brielle answered for me at first. She said Ethan failed. She said I was a queen. I laughed and nodded like I was being honored. Someone asked if I was okay being left alone. I said I was fine and even relieved. I said Ethan always dragged me down. I said I carried the marriage. I said I needed a partner, not a roommate. A man nearby nodded like he understood, and that made me bolder. Then someone suggested a toast. Brielle raised her glass and asked me to say something. I felt all eyes turned toward me, and I did not want to waste it. I said I was celebrating standards. I said I was done begging for basic effort. I said respect followed results, and I had results. I said Ethan did not. People cheered. Phones lifted. I saw a few screens pointed at me like mirrors. I felt powerful, like I could rewrite my whole life with one speech. In the middle of that, I glanced toward the bar and saw Ethan. He was not dressed for a party. He stood near the side, close to the exit. He was not drinking. He was looking at his phone, then putting it away, then checking it again. He did not look angry. He looked focused. That scared me more than anger. I told myself he came to spy. I told myself he was jealous. I told myself he was planning to embarrass me back. I needed that story, because the other option was worse. The other option was that he did not care. Brielle noticed my face change and asked what was wrong. I said Ethan was here. Brielle laughed and said he was pathetic. Kelsey lifted her phone again. She asked if I wanted her to film him for evidence. I said yes, because I wanted to feel protected, even while I was attacking him. Kelsey filmed toward the bar. Ethan turned his head slightly, saw the camera, and looked away. He did not approach. He did not shout. He did not even frown at me. He walked to the side, spoke briefly to a staff member, and then moved toward the exit. I followed him a few steps, but I did not touch him. I asked why he was there. He said he was meeting someone and it had nothing to do with me. I said he was lying. He said he was not going to argue. I said he was scared of the truth. He said he was tired of public scenes. I tried to push harder. I asked if he was trying to make me look bad. He asked me to stop filming him. I said I could film whatever I wanted because I was the one being mistreated. He said calmly that filming people to shame them was not healthy. I said he was gaslighting me. He said no, and then he left. He walked out like the night air could wash him clean. Back at the table, Brielle asked what he said. I said he came to control me and failed. Kelsey said she got a good clip. Madison texted me from home and asked if this was getting dangerous. I told her it was only dangerous when men felt exposed. I said Ethan was exposed. On the ride home, my buzz wore off. I stared at streetlights passing and felt a small hole open in my stomach. I told myself it was guilt, and guilt was just old training. I told myself I had the right to feel free. When I walked into the house, it was quiet. Ethan had already put the kids to bed. The kitchen light was on low. On the counter, I saw 2 mugs again, placed far apart like they belonged to strangers. I also smelled something sharp, like toner, like paper had been printed. I heard Ethan's footsteps in the hallway. He asked if I was safe. I said yes. He asked if I posted more. I said I could if I wanted. He said he wanted peace for the kids. I said he wanted peace so he could avoid accountability. He did not answer. He walked past me and went into the guest room. I stood by the shared computer and touched the mouse. The screen woke up. For a second, I saw a small message in the corner that said a file had uploaded successfully. I did not see the file name. I only saw the confirmation. Then the screen went dark again, like it did not want me to know more. I went to bed alone and stared at the ceiling. I told myself Ethan was plotting something unfair. I told myself I needed to stay ahead of him. Then my phone buzzed again. Logan had sent another message, saying he liked seeing me confident. I held the phone close to my chest, and I pretended that warmth was love. The next weekend, my mother insisted on a family dinner. She said it was time to talk like adults. I knew what she meant. She meant Ethan should apologize in public and then fix the problem with money. She never said diamond, but it sat in the room like a third plate. We met at a family restaurant with a long table, the kind with loud chairs and kids' menus. My mother chose the place because it looked normal and safe. I think she wanted witnesses too, just a different type. Ethan arrived with the kids first. Milo held his hand. Nora clung to his leg. Ethan looked clean and calm, like he had slept fine. That made me feel irritated. I wanted him to look guilty. My sister Kelsey sat close to me. Brielle came as if she belonged to the family. Ethan's parents came too, Janet and Howard. Janet kissed the kids and then looked at me like she was checking a bruise that was not visible. Howard stayed quiet and watched the room. My mother started fast. She asked Ethan why he embarrassed me. Ethan said he left the steakhouse to avoid a bigger scene. My mother said leaving a woman alone was shameful. Ethan said he did not leave me unsafe, and he paid and left calmly. My mother asked if calm made it right. Ethan said calm was the only way to keep it from getting worse. I jumped in because I could not let him sound reasonable. I said he always chose calm over caring. I said he cared more about strangers' opinions than my feelings. He asked what I wanted him to do in that moment. I said I wanted him to fix what he broke. He said he did not think he broke anything by buying a gift. I said the gift proved he did not know me. Janet asked what I meant. I said it was simple and she knew it. Janet said she did not know it. She asked if I told Ethan what I wanted. I said of course I did. Ethan said I showed him photos, but he thought the trip was better for the family. I said he always hid behind the family to avoid doing something romantic. Howard asked if we could keep our voices down because the kids were present. I said the kids were present every day, and Ethan still disappointed me. Ethan told Milo to focus on his food. Milo stared at his plate like it might give him answers. Brielle added fuel. She said men like Ethan used money as control. She said a woman should not have to beg. My mother nodded and said exactly. I felt proud, like I had built a team. Ethan did not insult Brielle. He did not tell her to leave. He only asked softly why our marriage was being discussed by people outside it. I said it was because he forced it by humiliating me. Kelsey mentioned the video again. She said people agreed with me online. Ethan said he saw the comments. I asked how he could watch that and still act like a victim. Ethan said he was not acting like a victim. He said he was trying to be careful. I asked careful about what? He said careful about the kids and about what we said in public. I laughed and said he was acting like a lawyer. Janet's eyes moved, quick, like she noticed something behind his words. When the food came, I kept pushing. I said Ethan had no passion. I said he treated me like a budget item. Ethan said he had never stopped me from working or spending within reason. I said within reason was his favorite cage. He asked if I wanted to review the bills together because the numbers were real. I said numbers were his way of changing the subject. My mother said Ethan should provide more so I did not feel insecure. Ethan said he provided, and he also protected the household. My mother asked if he protected it from me. Ethan did not answer that. After dinner, Janet pulled Ethan aside near the entrance. She spoke quietly. I could not hear words, but I saw her hand touch his arm once. It looked like support. That made me feel like I was losing control of the room. On the drive home, I told Ethan he made me look crazy at dinner. He asked how he did that. I said by being calm and acting like I was a problem. He said he did not want to fight. I said that was his trick, to refuse the fight so I looked unstable. He said no, and he asked me to stop posting videos. I said posting was my right, because it was my life. He said it was also the kids' life. I said he was using them again. The next day, I went to the supermarket with Nora. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to buy a few things and prove I was fine. I added extra items on purpose, little comforts, like I deserved them. Nora sat in the cart and tapped the handle, humming. At the checkout, the cashier scanned everything. I tapped my card and smiled like I belonged there. The machine beeped and flashed a decline message. The cashier said it did not go through and asked if I had another payment. People behind me shifted and sighed. My face burned. I tried again, declined again. I felt heat rise into my ears. I told myself Ethan did it. I told myself this was his punishment for the video. I said out loud that my husband must have frozen the card. The cashier looked uncomfortable. Nora started to fuss. I grabbed my phone and called Ethan right there. When he answered, I asked what he did to the account. He said he did not freeze it. He said he set a daily spending limit on the joint card for now. I asked how he dared. He said the bills were due and we needed structure. I said structure was control. He said it was safety. I said he was humiliating me in public again. He said he was sorry I felt embarrassed, but he would not argue in the store. I said he was always choosing silence to win. He said he was choosing the kids. I paid with my personal card and left fast. In the parking lot, I texted Brielle that Ethan was financially abusing me. Brielle replied that I should expose him harder. That word, expose, tasted sweet and sharp. When I got home, Ethan was in the kitchen. He was putting groceries away from a different bag, like he had already done his own run. I saw labeled folders on the counter corner again, stacked neatly. Household on top, bank underneath. I asked what those were. He said they were just organization. I said he never organized like that before. He said he was doing it now. Nora ran to him and lifted her arms. He picked her up without hesitation. I watched her relax against him and felt a jealous sting. I told myself he was turning the kids against me. I told myself I had to protect my role. Later that week, at the school pickup line, I saw Ethan's car ahead of mine. He was early. He was always early now. His car was angled toward the street like he could leave fast if needed. He got out, waved to the teacher, and waited. Other parents smiled at him. He looked like the good parent in a calm movie. That made me angry because it made me look like the problem. When Milo came out, Ethan crouched and asked how his day was. Milo answered softly. Then Milo looked past Ethan and saw me. His eyes moved between us like he was measuring danger. I hated that. I told myself it was Ethan's fault for making tension feel normal. At home that evening, I tried to enter our bedroom drawer for a charger. The drawer did not open. I pulled again. It was locked. I heard a small click like a new lock catching. I froze. Ethan stepped into the doorway and asked what I needed. I said it was my drawer, too. He said he had moved some things to a private space. I asked why. He said because we were not stable right now. I stared at his keyring when he turned. There was a new key on it, small and silver. I asked what it opened. He said it was for something personal. I said personal was suspicious. He said personal was allowed. That night, I lay in bed and listened to him walk down the hall to the guest room. I told myself he was doing all this to make me beg. I told myself I would not beg. Then my phone buzzed with a message from Logan asking if I needed a real escape, and I held the phone like it could save me from the fear I refused to name. The house started to feel like a place with invisible lines. I could still walk from room to room, but I kept hitting quiet boundaries. Ethan did not announce them. He did not threaten me. He just moved things, locked things, scheduled things, and acted like it was normal. In the mornings, he woke up before me. I heard the shower, then the coffee machine, then the soft clink of his mug on the counter. He stopped using our shared calendar app. Instead, the paper calendar on the fridge filled with neat notes. Some were normal, like school events. Others were strange because they had exact times and no details. Meeting, personal. Downtown 10:15 a.m. Paper drop 7:40 a.m. I asked what they meant, and he said they were private reminders. Private. That word started to sound like a wall. Milo noticed the changes before I admitted them. He asked why Dad slept in the other room. I said Dad was being dramatic. Milo asked if I did something bad. I said no, and then I said Dad was sensitive. Milo nodded, but his face did not relax. Nora started to cling to Ethan more. When I lifted her, she leaned back like she was checking if Ethan was still there. That hurt in a quiet way, so I called her Daddy's girl, like it was cute, even though it was not. I tried to get Ethan to react again. I needed him to match the villain story. A calm man did not fit the clip I posted. A calm man made me look like the storm. One night, I waited on the stairwell landing when he came home. I had my arms crossed, ready with lines I had practiced. When he stepped in, I asked if he liked humiliating me with spending limits. He asked what I meant. I said the grocery store decline. He said he set a reasonable limit and told me the reason. I said it was financial abuse. He said abuse was a serious word and asked me not to throw it around. I said he was trying to silence me again. He asked why I kept filming and posting. I said I posted because people needed to know the truth. He said the truth was not built in clips. I said the truth was that he failed as a husband. He asked if I believed that. I said yes, because I needed to believe it. He glanced toward the living room where the kids' nightlight glowed. He asked me to lower my voice. I said he cared more about noise than my pain. He said he cared about the kids sleeping. I said the kids already knew he was cold. He said softly that the kids knew more than I thought. That line made my stomach tighten. I pushed harder. I asked if he was hiding money. He said no. I asked if he was hiding someone else. He said no. I asked why he had a new key. He said it was for something personal. I asked if he was recording me. He did not answer right away. He only looked at my face for a long second, and then said he wanted us to be careful now. I said careful meant guilty. He said careful meant smart. The next day, I met Brielle at the gym lobby. I told her Ethan was turning into a stranger. She said that was good because it meant he was scared. She said I should stay loud so he could not control the story. I liked that idea because it gave me a job. Be loud, be right, be seen. Logan met me near the smoothie counter like it was an accident. He asked how things were at home. I said Ethan was playing mind games. Logan said I did not deserve that. He said a real man would spoil me and protect me. That word protect hit me in a way I did not like. I remembered my own joke at the restaurant, and I felt a sharp flash of shame. I covered it fast by saying Ethan was weak and petty. Logan nodded like he agreed, and that made me feel powerful again. Later, Ethan started doing things without telling me. He opened a new drawer in the hall cabinet, and I heard the click of a lock. He moved some mail to a folder labeled Household. He changed the streaming password and then gave it to me without emotion, like a coworker sharing access. He set alarms on his phone that went off at odd times. Once, I saw paper drop on his screen. Another time, I saw bring forms. When I asked what forms, he said forms for life. That answer felt like a warning wrapped in politeness. At night, I heard a shredder hum for a few seconds, then stop. I stepped into the hallway and asked what he was shredding. He said junk mail. I said he never shredded junk mail before. He said he was starting now. He walked back to the guest room and closed the door softly, not as a slam, but as a decision. I started checking his face for cracks. I wanted to see him break. I wanted to see anger. I wanted proof that I was right about him. But he stayed steady. He took Milo to school. He picked up Nora on time. He cooked simple dinners. He spoke to me only about logistics. When I tried to pull him into a fight, he stepped away like a person avoiding a puddle. That should have made me calm. Instead, it made me desperate. So I did what I always did when I felt weak. I performed. I told Kelsey I might post a part 2 about the anniversary. I told Brielle I might go live. I hinted that Ethan had control issues. Brielle said I should do it. Kelsey said people would eat it up. I told myself public pressure was fair because Ethan embarrassed me first. One evening, I held my phone up in the kitchen and started recording, not fully live, but enough to feel like I had power. Ethan walked in and saw it. He did not grab my phone. He did not raise his voice. He asked what I was doing. I said I was telling my truth. He asked if my truth included humiliating the father of my children. I said the kids deserved a mother with standards. He paused, then asked me something I did not expect. He asked if there was anyone else. I laughed like it was ridiculous. I said he was paranoid. I said he was trying to distract from the diamond. He asked again, more quietly. I said no. I said he was lucky I stayed at all. He nodded once, like he was marking something in his head. The next morning, I woke up and saw his laptop open on the dining table. A spreadsheet was on the screen, but there was no title visible, just rows and dates. He noticed me and closed it calmly. I smelled faint toner again, like paper had been printed somewhere in the night. I followed him into the hallway and said he was planning something. He said he was planning stability. I said stability was control. He said stability was what the kids deserved. I said the kids deserved a happy mother too. He said happiness did not come from public cruelty. I snapped and said I could ruin his reputation if I wanted. I said I could post everything and make sure everyone knew he was cold. I said I could make him regret ignoring me. I expected him to flinch. I expected a shout. I expected him to finally act like my villain. He did not. He looked at me with a calm face that felt almost empty, and he said he would handle it properly. I stood there, waiting for more. There was no more. He walked past me, picked up his keys, and left to take Milo to school, like I was not the main thing in his life anymore. I went to the office tower downtown because Ethan texted that we needed to sign one thing for the kids. He did not write more. That alone annoyed me. I told myself he wanted me nervous. I also told myself I would not show fear. The lobby smelled like polished stone and coffee. People in badges walked fast. I saw Ethan near a bench, standing straight with his hands empty. Janet was a few steps behind him. She did not look at me with warmth. She looked at me like I was a risk. I asked Ethan why his mother was there. He said he wanted support and witnesses. I said I did not need witnesses because I was not lying. He did not answer. He only nodded once, like he was done debating. A woman in a plain blazer walked toward me. She asked if I was Araminta Vale. I said yes. She asked me to confirm my address. I did. She held out an envelope and said she was serving me legal papers. I froze for a second, then I said she had the wrong person. She said she did not, and she told me I could read it or keep it sealed, but service was complete. I looked at Ethan and asked if this was his idea of romance now. He said he was doing it properly. He said he would not fight with me in public. I said he was trying to scare me. He said he was trying to protect the kids and protect himself. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. The first page said petition, and my stomach dropped. I saw words about divorce and temporary orders. I felt heat rush into my face like I had been slapped, but no one touched me. People in the lobby walked by and glanced at me, then away. I flipped pages too fast. I saw a temporary parenting schedule. It listed days and times. It listed school pickup rules. It listed that exchanges would happen in public places. It even listed that neither parent should discuss adult issues with the children. I wanted to laugh at that part, but I could not. Then I saw money limits in clean language. It said joint accounts had protections and that certain spending could be blocked. It said the home had rules about who stayed where for now. It was not emotional. It was simple and cold. I saw an exhibit list. It referenced my posts. It referenced the anniversary video and the rooftop bar. It referenced messages with Logan by date and time. It referenced location data and late-night work claims. It felt like my life had been turned into a timeline. I whispered that this was unfair. Janet said I made it public first. I told her to stop. Ethan said I should read the last page. I did, and I felt my throat close. The first custody exchange time was today. The place was already written. The school had already been notified. I looked up at Ethan, and he did not smile. He only stood there, calm and lawful, while my story collapsed in my hands.